Well, I've been beating that one to the death, huh? But it's been a fun project that started about 3 or 4 weeks ago and turned into a couple of different lessons here at Totally Guitars. We'll talk about that a little bit more coming up. The first thing I want to say is welcome to the middle of June. It is the 19th, the end of June. We're right on the cusp of summer. I think tomorrow I was checking the calendar, and tomorrow we're supposed to have 14 hours and 45 minutes of sunshine. Well, at least from sunrise to sunset, assuming no clouds. It's been really hot here in California, and I think that's about the limit. I think that's as much as we ever get. 14:45. It's kind of geeky to watch those kind of stats, and it's like get some hobbies, Neil. Right? Stop reading the obituaries and the weather page. Let's see. Oh, a couple of really interesting things happened this week. Before I get to what the lessons were, well, I want to wish a couple happy birthdays. We had some birthdays in the family. First of all, my partner and good friend Matt Williams, who has been, major driving force, well, for 12 years now, since he and I first started talking about this ludicrous idea in 2008 of starting a video instruction website. And anyway, so Matt's birthday was the 17th. My daughter Rebecca was the next day, which was yesterday. We did something really fun with Rebecca, and that was went to a socially distancing restaurant, a restaurant she used to work at. We had a blast. Six of us, the immediate family, my three kids, one significant other, and my wife Nani. Went to Willow Street, a place where Rebecca worked for many years, which means she gets a 30% discount there. So we got a really cheap birthday dinner there, or relatively cheap. Great time though, hanging out with the family, and it was like almost 100 degrees here, and we'd talked about having them maybe just pick up the food and bring it back here to eat in an air-conditioned house, and we decided not to, because they let us know that when they got there, the tables were way spread out and they were under redwood trees with a little breeze blowing through there. So we had a wonderful time at Willow Street. And let's see. Oh, and she showed up here later on with some of her. My daughter Rebecca is in chiropractic school, heading into her last 2 quarters of 13, and so a few of her student colleagues came by, and some of whom were thrilled to be here because they had been following some of my lessons at Totally Guitars. I was shocked. It was pretty cool. Anyway, so that was fun. And what else? Oh, Muriels Anderson had a birthday this week, back on Wednesday as well, 17th. So happy birthday to her. Wish her well. Last I heard from her, she is hanging out at Oak Beach on Long Island, a tiny little spot where she and Brian spend most of the summers. Nani and I were fortunate a couple of years ago to spend a few days there, and it was a blast. It was like we were at an amusement park. Oh well, we were pretty far off the beaten path, and it was fun. Got to visit another old cousin-in-law of mine who I hadn't seen since we were kids, but he's a chauffeur out there, and so he picked us up and from the train station and drove us out to Brian's place at Oak Beach. Okay, let's see, what have I been playing lately? I just stumbled into something because I was trying to work out a solo, like a quick little version of one of the songs I'm going to talk about in just a minute, and this popped up. I don't know what's going to happen next. Nope, it's going to turn into a different song, I guess. What else can I play in A? Okay, and then maybe this now. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to come back in a minute and tell you a little bit or rehash some of the exciting things that happened here this week. Got some really exciting news about things going on the forum. So, don't go away. I'm not actually going to go away. I'll be right back. Another possible lesson on the horizon. I don't know where that just came from. I just looked at my list of things I was supposed to talk about now, which is new releases for this week. And one of them was a couple of 5-packs of the early Beatles singles. And I thought, which early Beatles single pops into my head? And it was that. It doesn't make a bad instrumental. Okay, all right. I'll explore that another time. Not on camera necessarily, and we'll see how it goes. But we had a couple interesting packs this week. A couple of Beatles early, their first 10 singles split into 2 5-packs. A couple of Doors packs, one thanks to Max especially. We have stuff like this. And these Doors packs were pretty, actually big. They're bigger than 5 packs because we decided to put some of Max's acoustic lessons into the electric pack. So the electric pack includes 5 electric lessons of Max's and 3 acoustic lessons of Max's. So you can check, the info is all over on the page about packs. Jazz pack. Anyway, that had 5 tunes, a couple of relatively easy ones. Bessie's Blues was in there, and It Don't Mean a Thing. Max did a great job with that. Satin Doll, a few others. So check out the packs from this week. The songs from this week. This was a fun week because I got I got around to the Renee one, Walk Away Renée, that was really really neat, and knocked off the other Croce one. And there's a lot of places in Working at the Car Wash Blues where you can do a few different things. So we talked about some of the variations in that. Really fun song to play through and sing. So I hope you've had a chance to look at those. We also had a couple of episodes from my Dallas Guitar League visit. We will be rounding out a few more of those as I get time to to edit them and look at them and document them and see what the heck it was I was talking about. That went on for a couple hours. I actually did something else interesting this week. Had a visit with a local radio station that I guess I should plug because I'd never heard of it until a few weeks ago when a friend of mine did a show there. Kaliko Beamer, who is Keola Beamer's brother, kind of, or an adopted brother. Just, yeah, Hanaid, as is a Hawaiian tradition. And I got a message from my sister that he was going to be on a radio show here run by Gloria at K-Squid in Santa Cruz, KSQD. And she asked me if I'd come on and talk for a little while, especially in this day of social, the COVID stuff. And so I spent about a half an hour, 45 minutes on the phone with her, giving her my whole life story that most of you already know, but anyhow. So that was fun. So that was it for the week as far as new tunes went. The jazz stuff, the packs, and 3 cool. Oh no! What did I forget? You're gonna remember, huh? Welcome back, Max. Max brought us a lesson on Alan Jackson's Chatahoochie. Really fun song. So, and going forward, we expect more from Max over the next few months even. We'll see. So that was it for the updates. Coming up on, or for this week, coming up, I will talk about things that happened on the forum that were pretty exciting. So I had an interesting problem this morning when I went to log into the forum. It's like, and I have multiple accounts. I tried them all, and they all like get incorrect password, something wrong, and I thought, man, what the heck is going on? I got to check stuff because I need to, see what I need to talk about today on the news, and hit up some of our tech wizards and realized that something that has happened there that people have been asking for since we opened this 5 or 6 weeks ago is an auto login for the forum. So I couldn't get into the forum because I was logged into my account, like looking at lessons. And so he said, oh, you got to log out of your lessons account, Totally Lessons or Totally Guitars, whichever one you happen to be at, and close the forum tab, and then log back in to the lessons or guitar site and hit the forum button there, and a new tab will open up and you'll be automatically logged into the forum. It was like magic. A few minutes later, I got a Skype message from Vanessa saying, hey, I'm kind of like locked out of the forum. I said, problem solved. I told her told her what happened, and she checked out. She got back to me in like 30 seconds and said, it worked, fabulous. So I hope everybody's had a chance to check out the auto login feature. That means you do not have to log in with a separate account when you go to the forum. You'll automatically be logged in if you're logged in at one of the other places. So that was a really cool thing. The forum has also been kind of completely rebuilt, recategorized, trimmed down, trying to make it easier to find a lot of stuff and just keep it a lot more organized. So that's been pretty neat. We've got separate categories now, or separate forums for things like music theory and student reviews and IGC. And then even different levels of membership. So there's a category for gold and a category for platinum. And COA members have a really exclusive forum where they can get a little bit more feedback and everything else. So the COA forum is happening now too. So you COA members out there, check it out. I'll be putting some other messages in there for you because I have another kind of big announcement related to the forum. One of our plans from as part of this rebuild was to basically resurrect TG Live and have more interactive live shows, I guess, with members. And so this Saturday, next Saturday, the 27th of June, we'll be doing a free webinar for everybody at noon California time, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. That'd be like 9 o'clock in the evening in Europe. And probably run about a half an hour, and I'll just address some issues and maybe take some questions. So I'm really encouraging everybody to look in on our first TG Live webinar in many years, I think. And then at 1 o'clock afterwards, we'll have a special one for just the COA members who I want to really get to know and help. One of the big things that the COA members get is a little bit more personal interaction. We put together a Pathways course where we'll lay out like a whole year's worth of stuff, assignments and things you should work on to get to where you want to be, which means I need to know like where you are and where you want to be. And then I get out the master plan and tell you, hey, this month you should be working on these couple of songs, make sure to work on these techniques, we'll do a little sight reading and that. So the Pathways program is a really cool bonus part of the COA program. So we'll have that going too. So Saturday, June 27th. I have September on the brain because we're still hoping to have the camp on September 14th, but we'll have to see how the health of the nation goes before we make any decisions on that. But we are not postponing it or canceling it yet, just so people know. And But if people aren't comfortable flying in September, we are thinking about moving it to April, just to give you a heads up on that too. Maybe bumping it back about 6 months, and hoping that things will be better by then. Okay, that's it for the forum news. Coming up, a look at next week's lessons. Here is one that I don't think anybody's ever asked for, but one of my students asked about it the other day, and I thought, I don't think I've done much, if any, Motown stuff. So next week we have a lesson coming up on My Girl. Moraz done by the Temptations. It's interesting as I listen to the different versions. Of course, now when I say Moraz, that's the one most people are familiar with. Of course, Smokey and the Miracles did it as well, since he wrote it. And did it with didn't have that smooth, gentle feel, the flowing, floating bass line. It was done with a more, let's see, he did it in a different key, let me think. But it had more, it was probably an F. I forget. But, something more like that. I've got sunshine. Anyway, had a little heavier beat, and it wasn't until later in the song that we hear that driving bass line played on the guitar. Well, the Temptations arrangement, I'm not sure who did it. That's the kind of research I have to do before I finish a lesson. Took this little guitar lick that showed up in the middle of the Miracles version. Now, the Temptations might have even done it first. I doubt it. I don't know. This is all the stuff I got to look up. Oh, wait, somebody out there could do that for me. Dermot. Well, never mind. That little bass line, which is just and we'll talk about this in the lesson, just a pentatonic scale. If I did it in G, if I did it in A. Anyway, so it's pretty cool. So we'll be looking at a lot of that. Oh, I don't know if that will even make an instrumental. The lesson just got more complicated because maybe it has to have an instrumental. Okay, well anyway, it's one of the things coming up next week. We have a new lesson coming up from Vanessa on another Sean Colvin song, Crazy. So looking forward to that, and we'll also have a pack then of a 5-pack of Sean Colvin's coming out, along with a couple other early Beatles packs, which means I got to brush up on the next 10 songs, instrumentals. The big news for me for next week is, as you know, during kind of our rebuild, the early months of this year, I was working on it. I teased you with a lot of these, of different things that I thought, okay, I got to get to this lesson. I got to get to this lesson. Last week, knocked off James, which was just, again, something that's been bugging me for like 3, 4, 5 years. Once I decided, I started working on arranging it many years ago. Well, 3 or 4, 5 years ago, whenever it was, when that old video was from. But I also, finally got around to organizing it as a lesson. And organizing songs like that as lessons is a serious, it's really time consuming. So this week, next week, the biggie that's coming out, It's just about finished, but it'll be ready by Monday. A song I've been working on for over 40 years. Now I think I've talked about what this one is. Why did he grab the other guitar? Because it's in a different tuning? Not really. Because I decided to be nicer to my audience. The Entertainer will see the light of day after 40 years of messing with it. I finally have the arrangement the way I want it, got it all written down, got it all recorded, and we'll be busting that one out next week. And I decided when I was going to do all the close-ups of this, that I thought, this would be a good time to have a guitar with fret markers. Got one more complaint recently about, but it was, anyway, about guitars without fret markers. And up until about a year ago, when all the work got done to the Santa Cruz guitar, it was very difficult to play. And so I didn't like using it for lessons as much because I really had to struggle with it. But as it turned out for the Entertainer, there are a couple of advantages to it, 3 or 4 advantages. One of them is the fret markers. Now, these markers are so weird. They're this Art Deco inlay or something that it makes it a little difficult to even tell what fret I'm at. But you can see we've got a marker here at the 12th fret and the usual 9, 7, 5, 3. Oh, all the way down to 1. Oh my God, I forgot there were that many. But anyway, and the string spacing on this guitar is a little wider than on the Claxton, and the scale is about a ½ an inch shorter. Why is that important? Did you see this? It's like 3% easier on this guitar than it is on that guitar. But the real reason was my hands are getting old and they hurt to stretch that far. No. The real reason was I figured it'd be nice to bring this guitar out now, and these put brand new strings on these just the other day, and they're now, boy, joys to play. So, okay, that is it. I have rambled on too long today. While I'm in drop D, what else can I play in drop D? See you next week.